Hey everybody, welcome to another Saturday stream. And we have, for the second week in a row, without a break and a vacation, Arkady is with us. And we are welcoming a very special guest direct from Moscow, Anastasia, who is the heart and soul behind the Moscow International Telegram community, where people can come and get advice on moving, things to do in Moscow, events, and we are going to have her talk about herself and the group. And Eddie Gonzalez will be joining us shortly, so you're all familiar with him. So, Anastasia, welcome.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure. Thank you, Kevin, to have me today in your translation broadcast. Yeah, the main topic I wish to share about myself with your subscribers is that I have Telegram community for expats in Moscow from all over the world, and I have different topics with visa support. I'm providing events by myself or my friends um, share this very interesting events. It's my group is like a hub which connects all the people all over the world in one place. So please, if you have any question, Kevin, let me answer to it. I don't know.
Okay, well, I know Arkady had a list. Arkady always has questions, so we'll let him start out.
Yeah, Anastasia, my natural most question: what are by far the most common questions or the most common objects of interest for expats in Moscow? What are they looking for the most?
There are three topics: jobs. Also, I hope to find for jobs for expats. So first thing is to find a job. Second one, to hang out, to find friends, because a lot of people who are moving here, they're mostly lonely. They're moving alone without families, and they have literally no one. So I have almost 2,000 people, and like I connected, linked up a lot of people together. They found friends, big groups, companies, even couples. And third topic is visa support. How to prolong visa, how to apply for university, and other questions regarding it. But firstly, mostly is people want just to make some friends.
Okay. Are they looking for expat friends? Is that the purpose?
Both friends. Like there are two types of people. First type looking for expats with English knowledge because it's like international language. So not a lot of people knows Russian, and they're looking for English-speaking friends. Second part, looking for Russian-speaking friends to teach, to practice, to learn Russian language. So yeah, different goals, but everyone can find their own in this group.
Is there any animosity? Do they report any animosity toward them because of what's going on? Because between Russia and the West, or it absolutely doesn't come into play in interpersonal relationships?
It does.
It does?
Even I have another chat, like political debates, where people can discuss it, but it's closed chat. My open group is not allowed to discuss politics because I want to have nice, wide friendship and support each other. So my people know that we don't discuss political discussion, but it can appear at some friendly conversation sometimes, of course. Mm, but mostly I can say Western people in other ways. They're not defending West, but they're proud to be in Russia. They're happy to have Russian friends. They're amazed with Russia. The only thing they don't understand why we never smile, but they will have to survive after short winter to get
What
this.
What do you think they like the most when they what strikes them as very nice and positive the most, and what is it that they're disappointed the most as soon as they arrive?
I think the most hard thing moving to Russia is Russian language. But a lot of people, a lot of Russians now knowing English language, and even in the streets everywhere it's translated to English, so it's not too hard to find a restaurant or I don't know. But it's maybe kind of hard to go to pharmacy or to buy something. Yeah, experts struggle with Russian language, but mostly I meet people who already knows Russian, kind of in a good level. So I don't know. And I think also mostly people moving to Russia already they know their goals. They get a university appliance or they have all the documents back. They even rented apartment. So I think I never met a person who just randomly moved to Russia without any goal. So, I don't know.
Okay, we have a question. Please recommend a bar for playing darts, drotiki, in Moscow.
Mhm.
Can you recommend the
Uh-huh.
bar?
I used to know bar before it named Jim and Jack's. It's bar for expats, and I was organizing events in this bar, and I brought to them. I bought darts, and I gifted it to this bar. So we were playing there, but now it's bar temporarily closed. I don't know. I promise I will
Kevin,
I'll find out and let you know.
Kevin.
Well, Eddie might know where there's a good bar to play
No,
darts in Moscow.
I have a question to
I
Eddie and
don't.
to Kevin. Do Iskander missiles count as darts or no?
Well, Eddie's in Moscow, so I don't think they count for him. For me, they do.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Anastasia, you never told us what they like the most when they arrive. What they're impressed the most.
They like the most how clean our city is. We literally have no trash outside. We have no homeless people. We have no homeless animals. Fresh air. Mm, metro. They like metro a lot. Everyone tells me how is amazing our metro. Because as I heard in America and Paris, it's very dangerous to go there, and it smells kind of not good, and people don't like it. Also, it's expensive. Here, it's very cheap to use metro. It's the most fast way to get from point A to point B. So yeah, the answer is metro, parks.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
understandable.
that's it. hmm And also, Russians are very friendly people, so everyone helping each other. They they never facing with some aggression like outside. Even now, I'm making my international event right now in the bar behind me. So there everyone, Russians, expats, people from India, from London, from Iran, like everyone's safe, feeling safe.
So, another question for you. Is it illegal to bet on billiards games in Russia?
Billiards game. I like bar Pivko. It's located in Oktyabrskoye Pole. It's mostly always empty and affordable prices. That's the
Анастасия,
first one.
вопрос,
Ага.
законно ли ставки делать, когда играешь в бильярд в баре?
Ставки делать незаконно.
No, not legal.
Not legal, yeah. But in circle of your friends, somewhere in apartment, or to rent a place for Georgia, you can do whatever you want.
Eddie,
Yes.
any thoughts,
I am here.
ideas?
Oh, Eddie,
No,
you're
I'm
also
joining
from
the-
Moscow.
Yes, I am in Moscow and I'm joining the conversation late. So I apologize for that. And I'm just trying to catch up to speed. And I'm kind of reading the comments and seeing if there's any questions. But let's see. So what are you organizing? You mentioned earlier that you were organizing a get together at a bar here in Moscow.
Yeah, I was organizing St. Patrick's Day Halloween party, mm, a New Year's party, and each celebrations. Not even only Russians, but mostly like kind of Americans also. Um, I'm just going to bar. I have some connections in bar, so I'm bringing games, board games. I know evening of mafia games and different things. Just now it was summer and I took a kind of vacation. I'm not organizing anything. So today is my first time after 3 months. And this meeting is for free. So we just catched up together in bar. Yeah. Also, I have English news channel in Telegram. And normally I'm posting everyday news in English language and sending it to my chat, to my community, so people can read it without Telegram Premium, without buying it, for free. Like urgent news about Moscow. It's specifically about Moscow, not about Russia.
And what channel is that?
So anyone who is going to move to Moscow, feel free to contact me or to join our group chat. I'm pretty sure everyone can help you with any question is in your mind.
Как чат называется, Анастасия? Как его найти? How do you find the chat?
The chat is named Moscow International. You can find it in search tab in Telegram. Also, you can find it by text, Moscow Expats chat.
So you're saying the news is in that one?
News chat, I don't remember exactly the tech link, but I can send all the information to Kevin later.
Okay, we'll share it.
Okay.
Edelwolf is asking Anastasia if you have a YouTube channel.
No, I don't have YouTube channel. Also, I have full-time job. I'm working as an IT project manager, so I don't have enough time to run a YouTube channel also and organize events. So yeah, but I have my little blog in Telegram channel, but it's just about my life. Of course, there are some posts about our expat meetings and my expat friends in Moscow here, but mostly about my life. That's the only thing I can run now.
Understand.
So Jason, thank you. Jason wants to know what kind of activities are exciting and wholesome for younger kids, like 15-year-old teenagers in Moscow. I know there's a particular, I don't know where it is, but I know there's a particular metro station that they hang around at on Friday and Saturday nights. Is this something you would know?
I'm not sure about activities for children, but also I know some chat for expat children in Moscow. It's called Moscow Parents. So if you ever move to Moscow with kids, you also can have kind of like a friend with English-speaking children and go somewhere together. We have a lot of places for kids actually, like playgrounds or museums. We have within Hub metro station. It's a whole big place with pavilions with different activities for children, with animals, zoo park.
Anastasia, back in my day, about 100 years ago, when I was a child there, children of ages from, I don't know, 6 until 18 or 16, whatever, they were just hanging out together at a bench, maybe with some eating nuts or whatever, hanging out and talking till 3 a.m. And that was a very...
I don't see it now.
No,
I don't see it now.
But do you know what I'm talking about? Are you old enough to even remember that? That's what...
I used to hang out the same way with my friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's not something you do. The internet killed it
Playing
too,
with
right?
no, playing with pigeons. I never had any gadget back then, so
No, but
I was.
did the internet kill that type of social activity in your view in Moscow too, right?
I guess so. Even I have a friend who has 3 kids, and when I'm visiting her, I expected to see like kids playing with each other, but the only thing I see they're playing in iPad. Not always, but I think it's global thing now. Like, yeah, internet kills childhood a little
There
bit.
is no immunity in the world. There is no country. There is no culture that's immune from that, right?
But it's not also it's not only about kids. It's also about adults. Like
Well,
when
that's
I'm
a given.
organizing meetings, mm, some of them just prefer to stay at home and play computer instead of go outside and to meet people. About date settings, say like Tinder is blocked in Russia now and any popular dating apps. So now Russian people more going outside and meeting people in real life, and I'm really
Because they're
enjoying about
forced to,
it.
right? Because they're forced.
Yes, because they're forced and because they want to, and I'm enjoying it because people can just meet you outside the streets, not like using just apps all the time. And it's a good thing about sanctions, let's say.
Okay, now I have to ask the question. My mom told me that the most common pickup line for was "Can I walk you home?" Is that something that guys can still come up to you on a bus or whatever and
No,
ask you to walk you home? No.
Arkady,
I
you're
don't think.
taken.
I think the most common pickup thing is, can I offer you a beer, a drink?
You scared me. I thought you were gonna say, "Can I take you to Dubai with me?" But that's not. That's not it.
No, that's not the thing.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Eddie, if you think you're gonna avoid telling us what being Moscow photographer means, you are mistaken. You are mistaken. So
Oh my gosh, let me tell you, the life of Moscow photographer is extremely busy because I was out earlier today filming, and I'm not gonna spoil it because I'm gonna try to release this video tomorrow. But I was having a good time. Very hot day in Moscow, dirty, dusty conditions. I'll just tell you all that. So,
hot in terms of weather or hot in terms of the amount of hot women on the streets? Which one?
let's just say the weather. The weather was
Okay.
hot.
All right.
No, no,
Okay.
no. The weather really was hot.
Okay.
And, dirt and dusty conditions. But yeah, and I just arrived home and turned on the camera, and here I am. So yeah, but that's the life of a Moscow photographer. Um, very busy these days. Very
What is
busy
the
these days.
culture if you want to take a candid shot of someone? How likely are you to act inappropriately in their eyes, and how likely are they not to be happy about you taking a picture of someone? Is that a big
Right.
concern or nobody cares?
Uh, it depends. It depends on the photographer because if you're putting out a vibe out that you're like a little, scared or intimidated of what you're doing, it gives off this vibe and people pick up on it and then it makes people nervous. But if you go out there with an intention that, hey, I'm just taking street photography and doing this, people understand what you're doing and they're more acceptable of it. So I think it's part of the photographer. It comes from the photographer.
Okay. How
Join
is it
our
different?
meetings once, Eddie.
I'm sorry.
Sorry for interrupting. Join our meetings once. When
I
we
would
have
love
free
to.
time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd love to. Thank you for the invite.
Eddie, how is it
And
different being a photographer there versus America or anywhere else? What is special and unique?
I haven't really noticed any difference because I've photographed one wedding. I've done several photo shoots here, and they're absolutely the same. Locations are different. The surroundings are different, but it's the same atmosphere. It's it's the same work. So it's not really different
Okay.
from what I've done before.
Okay, interesting. We have a question from Rufus. Does anyone have an insight into how the arrest of Pavel Durov is going to affect the future of Telegram?
yeah, we'll talk about that a little while later. Eddie and I've done a stream on that, but let's focus on Moscow and
Okay.
that topic at the moment. So I am giving Eddie a chance to give himself a plug here. So
Thank you so much. So one of the other reasons that Moscow Photographer is so busy these days is because of this website, Worry Free Russia, which launched maybe about a week and a half ago after President Putin's decree about the expedited or easier pathway for immigrants to migrate to Russia. And so Worry Free Russia, which is kind of a contrasting terms because most people in the West don't think of Russia and worry free in the same context. So Worry Free Russia is a travel consulting service dedicated to having English-speaking people from the West come visit Russia and ask questions, learn as much as you can, as much as you need to know, and get all your answers, get all your questions answered before you come. And also, once you do arrive in Moscow, a lot of people are intimidated a bit because, one, they don't know the language, they can't read the Cyrillic alphabet, and it's a little difficult to navigate Moscow. So I offer concierge service, so I can meet you at the airport. I could take you to the to your hotel. I can maybe show you around, get you a bank account, SIM card, etc. So if you're thinking about coming to Moscow and you do have questions, worryfreerussia.com is where you need to go.
That's awesome. That's a much needed resource, especially in times when getting things done, visa, moving, everything is slower, more complicated because of all the conflict, right? So
absolutely.
So, you know, I would love to see that bar behind Anastasia.
No, go closer. What the hell?
Yeah, I think she should take us on a little tour.
Вас не слышно сейчас, Анастасия? Вы на мьюте.
Yeah, right. I couldn't. Sorry. How can I turn my camera? I don't know.
Just go closer to them.
Okay.
And ask everyone to introduce themselves. What the hell?
I can show to you my friend if you want.
Okay.
I hope it won't be too much loud because it is.
What time? It's
8
p.m.
26. So there's a bar in Secretary named Underdog. It has like inside bar area and outside bar, so people can sit here and have like picnics. Do you see?
Yeah, nice. Yep.
Yeah, okay. So you can sit there. And also you have outside like veranda, terrace part. It's located here. Here is somewhere my friend. Yeah, I can see them. I can show them if you're interested. I don't know. It's a good idea. Okay, let's wait. Join my interview. For example, if I was a little
I want to say hi to like all of your.
This is very second. It's so picture. So yeah, this is how we normally send it out. Normally it's more people, but now since it's summer, everyone went to their hometown and they're going back like today because mostly Expat is English teachers, English native teachers, so they're leaving Russia for summer. Normally in my meetings it's from 20 up to 50 people. Now it's less. Today is less.
I'm jealous now.
Arkady, you too can
Come back
come.
to Russia.
Oh, wait. Arkady's afraid of being sent to the front.
No, not anymore. Not so much. I'm
Now that
afraid
I fixed Kursk for you.
Huh?
Now that I fixed Kursk for you.
No, I'm afraid to be sent to the back. That's different. Wow, what a beautiful website, Worry Free Russia. If anyone wants their mood to be uplifted, talk about initial first impressions. I just went on the website. What a beautiful website. It's going to make me cry right now.
Hey, I have a new one underneath me too. Eddie and I partner on things. You need to get money from the West to Russia. I'm the guy.
So now you're into money laundering? How Italian of you.
westtorussia.com.
What about
Hey,
drugs? What about drugs?
No, not in this country.
Okay.
But we're happy to take Western money.
On that note, Anastasia, a question to you.
Yep.
Yeah. For your community of expats, imagine if there was no sanctions, no conflicts. No, Russia never imposes sanctions on anyone, right? It's one way. The sanctions are one way. Then every single person, Venezuela, Cuba, Iran, I don't know, any country, you name any, everybody would be welcome. Anybody could come to Russia, right? No limit, because Russia never limits anybody. Is there anyone from any country that cannot come? Is there anyone in the world who is not allowed to come from a particular country to Russia?
I think the answer is no, but there are some countries for whom it's very hard to get visa, like Iraq. But it's not only for Russia; it's a global thing.
For whom?
For Iraq, for example.
Why?
If it's not students, like they're not going to Russia for study, just to visit, it's very, very expensive and very hard to get a visa for them. Why? I don't know. It's not connected with Western sanctions, but it's connected with some past actions, let's say. So still it's hard to get visa, but I think there are no one country in this world who's prohibited to get Russian visa. We are not close
To anybody.
Yeah, we still issuing visas for foreigners.
I don't know. Mr. Wonderful says there are people from unfriendly countries who can't come to Russia, but can't get much unfriendlier than 404, and we still welcome them.
Who is 404?
Our next door neighbors. The ones who throw darts at me.
Oh, Ukrainians?
Yeah.
Oh, they can still come?
Yeah.
Oh, so there's no restriction even for them? They must be vetted, right? Somehow.
Well, they're vetted just
they
like
can
Americans
come,
are.
I was driving.
Everyone can come.
I was driving in North Moscow today, and there was a van in front of me with Ukrainian LP license plates. So, yeah.
So it's not like not banned. They're not banned.
And they never will be banned. Half of Ukraine, I think, moved to Europe. Half of Ukraine moved to Russia. They're very choice. For example, my mom works in hospital, and there are a lot of doctors from these dangerous areas. Like they're working as doctors now. Yeah.
In my mind, the West is a 12-year-old girl who is throwing tantrums. Oh, you're not doing what we want. Let's boycott. Let's sanction. And then you have this mature adult who lived life and say, you know what? Let's not make a problem worse than it is. Let's work where we can. Let's, compartmentalize our problems and not just throw tantrums and just like. It's sounds like a more mature way of handling things, more diplomatic. But
actually, it's very interesting topic to discuss, and I like politics, and I like to discuss Western Russian relations. But I guess so. I should leave you for now, and I will be very glad if Kevin will ever invite me again, so I can join from my home, from laptop.
Absolutely. We're sorry to keep you there like this. Absolutely. Thank you so much. We'll definitely invite you, but please enjoy your time.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to meet you all.
So I have one question for you before you go. This is an important one because it's our friend from Moscow Settlers in Moscow. He wants to know if you can recommend a good Italian restaurant, authentic.
Portobello at Metro Furniture. They even order still food from Italy, products. I mean, they are not using Russian. They're ordering products from Italy, and they have Italian chefs. I visited 3 times. It's amazing. Also, I know one Rim pizzeria, but I don't remember the location and name. But if anyone interested, I can send later and ask my Italian friends. Also have Italian friends.
Okay, so that's just for Daniel at Moscow Settlers.
they know. Send me a message and I'll send you all the link.
All right.
Yeah, and also
Nice.
everyone can find me in Telegram. It's dot ms anesthesia. So find my group and you'll find me in this group. Thank you guys for having me. It was a pleasure to talk to you today. Kevin, invite me one more time.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Have a
Anastasia.
nice, have a nice
Yep.
evening. Bye.
Thank you. Oh, I misspelled it even.
Yeah, a little bit not for copy from my Telegram.
And,
Okay, guys, bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice
easy,
evening.
bye. Thank you.
Wow, what a lovely lady. I think she embodies the femininity, the wholesomeness of a typical Russian young woman. Pretty average, and not in a bad way, but in a good way. Pretty typical woman, in my opinion. Speaking of
So-
restaurants,
Yes.
yep.
So if you're on Telegram, some people were asking for her contact information. This is the way to get a hold of her. I didn't want to give it out without her permission. So
Okay. Speaking of restaurants, a question to both of you guys. I would imagine that dining isn't such a big priority in Russia or Moscow as it is in big cities in America, meaning people's life doesn't quite revolve around restaurants quite as much. Or am I wrong?
I'm sorry. You're asking me? I'm sorry. Who's asking?
I'm asking everyone. Life in Moscow doesn't revolve around restaurants and dining as much as it maybe does in New York or some cities in America, right? It's not that important.
No, dining out is not more important. I think what more important is being together with your family and enjoying a meal. Sometimes that is at a restaurant. Sometimes that it's at someone's kitchen table, somebody, or sometime at a dacha. But we eat out maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. So it's not very often.
Okay.
In America, I ate out a lot more often.
But generally, where to go, ranking restaurants, this restaurant, that, it's not. It's just not the same, right? Now people don't care as much.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's what
It's
I
not
thought.
part of the culture.
Right. And the reason I'm asking is, of course, I grew up in communist times. Maybe I've been to a restaurant once up until age of 11. Maybe I went to cafe once. We didn't even have cafes, and I don't feel like we were missing anything. It was a different world, different life. But now I'm like, wow, right now everything around me is cafes, restaurants, which bar, which restaurant. And like, it's hard to explain to people that you can have an interesting life and you're not bored despite not having any of that. But it sounds like now Moscow is somewhere in between. It's not where America is, but it's not the communist Moscow that it used to be. So,
yeah. So somebody was asking for your contact information, Arkady. So there it is on the screen.
Of course. My contact information I'm putting in the chat, my email. You're welcome to email me. I should probably not share my WhatsApp phone number, right? Should I or should I not?
I probably would not. There's your
Okay.
email on the screen.
Yeah.
They can get you there.
Okay, absolutely. You're welcome. I respond to everyone and I respond quickly. Happy to help or answer questions in any way I can or let you know that I don't know. So,
Arkady, what kind of law do you practice?
oh, God, I don't think anybody would be interested, but it's mostly business litigation and employment law, a little bit of personal injury. I'm an amateur photographer, very, very amateur. So I'm always
cool.
And he flies those beautiful colored rainbow flags in his office.
I thought you were gonna say I'm flying a drone. I like.
Yeah, I was thinking drone too.
I do. I have drones, not the type of drones that you guys have there on the border, but actual photography drones. Yes, I like doing. I like drone photography.
I've had one here for 4 years. I haven't been able to fly
because of the security restrictions, right? They cannot let you go, let it up.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a license the first 2 years. The minute I got a license, and now you can't fly it because of the special military operation. So we have a few questions. Any advice for Brits? Eddie?
Yeah, lose that
Okay.
accent.
Come visit Moscow.
Yeah. Make an appointment for a consultation with Eddie.
Worryfreerussia.com. Most of my information that I deal with is mainly for Americans, but for the British, it's going to be the same thing. We speak a common language most of the time, and of course we can help. So please feel free. If I can't help you, I'll be man enough to tell you I don't know.
But if you need to get cash here, I can do that for you right down there.
I can vouch for that.
Eddie. And,
Yes.
and I have actually heard Joseph Rose's son complain about this. How do you manage when you get the urge for some Tex-Mex food?
Well, you can either go for some Uzbek cuisine or Korean food, some spicy Korean food. There are some Mexican restaurants here in Moscow. I've been to a few. They do their best, but I guess they can't source like real ingredients. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Pinto beans, okay? The staple of every Mexican comida, every Mexican meal. You can't find pinto beans here. You can find all other kinds of beans, but you can't find those. So when I traveled back from Texas, I brought 2 kilos of pinto beans. Yeah, and I sparingly use them, so they'll last me throughout the year. But yeah, these are Mexican problems in Russia.
How about chorizo?
I'm going to attempt to make my own. And I found some fresh chorizo at Metro. With Metro here in Russia is like Sam's Club, Costco back home. And they had some fresh chorizo, and it's not ground the same, nor did it have enough spices because it was made by Russians, and Russians use spices very sparingly because it burns them, and I'm just sitting here just like needs more. So, but I need to try to make my own.
Now you sound like me. I've been complaining that there's no Italian sausage here, and we're going to try making our own.
Bacon is another thing. If you want like thick bacon, like we usually get like in the States, ain't gonna happen. Happen.
I have solved that problem.
Don't tell me sallow.
I turned Joseph onto this. Smoked sallow, you slice it thick and you fry it.
It's not the same. It's close, but it's not the same.
It's as close as you're going to get here.
It's as close as you're going to get in Russia.
You can buy bacon in the supermarket, Arkady, but it's like paper thin and it's ham.
Yeah.
As a Jew, this topic is like alien to me, so I'm letting you guys battle it out.
Oh, well, okay.
I stay away from bacon, so that one of the few rules I follow, but I understand it's an important question for Spanish, Latin, Russian. Sala is a big deal. It's always been a big deal.
So does anyone have insight on the arrest of the founder of Telegram? So I promised we'd get to this for Rufus. Rufus is a regular on our channel. So Rufus, he's a French citizen. He's a citizen of the UAE. He's a citizen of, I don't know, some little island out in the middle of BF Egypt that he bought citizenship at. Mari something. And, but he was cooperating with France. He removed RT International Sputnik from Telegram in France, and they arrested him. and he was brought up on charges of, Arkady, you'd know this better than me, conspiracy to commit pornography, money laundering, a whole variety of charges, or being complicit in it, because he doesn't remove things that the West wants removed from Telegram, like the Russian military posting stuff. So they let him out. Eddie, do you remember the amount? It was some ungodly amount he paid.
5 million euros bail.
5 million euros bail. They let him out. He's not allowed to leave the country. And you know, I thought, what would happen? He's a private citizen. He's got a private jet. What if he just walked to the airport, got on his plane, and left?
Well, he's got to go through customs.
What about driving?
His airplane.
What if he just drove? Does he have an ankle bracelet? Drove to like a neighboring country.
He's going to have to go through a port of entry.
Border
There's
control,
no port
yeah.
of entry when you drive through Europe. There's no port of entry. You can just drive to the neighboring, to Germany. I don't know.
Oh, that's true. Eurozone. I know somebody from Italy who was having, she's Russian and her children are Russian. She's married to an Italian and they wouldn't let her leave the country because she had left the Italian guy, and they filed a suit against her. And she got in a car and drove across the border.
Yeah.
Went up through Slovakia and...
Yeah. Unless you have an ankle bracelet, how would they monitor that? It would be interesting to know. But you know, guys, how they banned Twitter in Brazil, right? And if you want to build distrust and discontent in your population and distrust toward authorities and government, which is terrible for society, start censoring and start lying and start telling people, oh, you cannot read this, you cannot read that. That's the sure way to make people very suspicious and become conspiratorial, I think.
Okay. So what is the story about the community south of Moscow, about 60 miles for American expats? I can tell you all about that. That project went bust because they could not get the infrastructure put in. And so therefore it is now in the northwest of Moscow in Istra. And I should have the American Village website here somewhere. I need to start deleting some of these. Let me find it. American Villages Russia.ru. So I will put that up on the screen. So if you want information, go to this website. That's Tim Kirby's project. Like I say, it's just moved locations. This one is actually in process. They've sold 3 of the plots thus far. Houses are being built on them. And it is going well. And if you make a commitment to the American Village to purchase a property or a house there, and you tell Tim Kirby through the American Village website that you came from this channel or Eddie's channel, I will transfer your money to make the payment to him for, I've extended this for 50% off. So until all of the village plots are sold. So you'll get it at 1.5% of my fee instead of 3%. You still pay the bank fees, but we'll get your money here. So, you know, if you make a commitment to them today and you don't need to send money to them until next June, I'll still do it at this 50% off. So we're getting a little commercial on you, aren't we, Arkady?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I have a question on this. Do you guys think that living in this type of community of expats, as opposed to trying to live among Russians, stifles someone's integration into society, or not necessarily?
I'll let Eddie respond first.
I would, I don't know because I don't live in one of those communities. I live in a flat and I'm surrounded by Russians. But I would think that there would be some impediment to integration because you're not around it constantly. So it would just make the whole process slower, in my opinion. But I don't know for sure.
And this village is quite far from Moscow, from what I see on the map. It's past Zelenograd. So, what is the way to get to Moscow, or you just should have a life set up without any regard to Moscow, Kevin?
Sorry, I was just responding to Anastasia. So what was the question?
This village is quite far from Moscow. So is there an easy way to get to Moscow, or you should just count on having a life, independent of Moscow, pretty much, not worry about Moscow?
I know there's train service there, but it's still quite a ways away.
Yeah.
Going back to your previous comment, I think it gives Westerners a way to come here. It's probably good in a situation where, like this new decree that Putin signed, where they can come here, they don't have to pass the language test, and they can get temporary residency. It probably helps them in that they can be comfortable. They're in other people they can speak to. My concern is how are they going to basically be forced to learn the language and really integrate into Russian society?
Yeah. No, totally.
Are there many English-speaking teenagers that some have success making friends or joining public school? I know several parents with teenagers, and it seems the kids have no problem integrating. They pick languages up easly. You have thoughts, Eddie?
No, I think they will integrate much faster, and a lot of these kids will probably have so much in common, either in media or games or things like that. So they have they have a lot in common because of their age, and also in the modern world where you can communicate with people all over the world. I think it would just be much easier for a teenager.
Yeah, and this is from Anastasia. She said, go to this chat, and there's parents, and they have teenagers, and they discuss all that stuff there. So good resource from her. And I'm behind on comments, Eddie, so I hope you're keeping up with them.
Yeah, I'm reading them.
Yeah. Can a tourist open a bank account? Yes. When you come on your tourist visa, just make sure you are legally registered somewhere, even if it's at a hotel, and take your migration card, your registration, and your passport to the bank with some money. You just need a little bit to open a bank account. I've opened accounts with as little as 1 ruble, and they will be happy to open it for you. In fact, open 2 bank accounts. I always recommend you open 2. So for various reasons, I have videos on money and stuff like that. We can talk about that another time. But yes, you can open a bank account.
How can you be sure as a Westerner that you enter and you're not going to be randomly arrested and then exchanged in some kind of prisoner exchange later?
Because we live here, And we know what the reality is. If you don't break the law, you won't get arrested. I've got a video on that too. I did on all these guys that were exchanged that the West claims were innocent, just grabbed off the streets. They all broke laws. The last guy that was arrested, who supposedly didn't do anything but tried to check into a hotel, he went in, he lost his migration card, and the hotel said, we can't register you without the migration card. It was an important document. You're supposed to keep it in your passport. I don't know how he lost the migration card and not his passport. But he started acting like I don't know, Eddie, what have we been terming this?
Like an idiot.
Like an idiot. I was looking for the tactful word.
He got arrested for being an idiot, which
he started yelling.
That's the fastest way to get arrested in Russia. The fastest way to get arrested in America. Be an idiot.
Yeah, he was yelling and screaming, and when the police came, he was kind of trying to throw them off of him. And whether he did it on purpose or accidentally, he hit a female police officer. So they arrested him.
Raymond, you're more than a nobody. You are somebody.
What's that song? Oh, tip of my tongue. Everybody is somebody.
Yeah, I remember. Guys, maybe you can tell a bit about your learning Russian language experience. Oof. So you got to start somewhere. So I started with apps and watching YouTube videos and listening to the Russian language through, at that time I was in the States, so Netflix had several series and movies that were in Russian that were also dubbed in English. And I would just start to immerse myself in the language. The Cyrillic alphabet is key. Very, very confusing once you come here to Russia, because you will see business names. And for instance, I saw one today. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was tabak, vape. And it was spelled tabak, which means tobacco, which means and then in English letters, vape. You see that all the freaking time. And in the beginning, you look at it and it's really confusing. It's like, is that Cyrillic or is that English? It happens. So you have to learn that Cyrillic alphabet so that you can read it, and start there. Absolutely.
Are you saying that they have words here that are based on Western words?
The Конечно.
That's pretty good.
Yes, of course. There are. Okay. There's probably 20 words that I could say in Russian that you would, as an English only or English speaking person, would immediately know what I'm talking about. Okay. So should we try it? Okay. Telephone. Metro. Toilet. Take it, Kevin.
Credit kartochka. Or credit karta.
Karta.
Little card or card. I don't know. Irina says her book that she and Lucy use for teaching English speakers Russian has 2 chapters full of words based on Russian.
Don't forget all the words that they shamelessly adapted from English, like chat and tons of words that they use, right? The modern word.
Website.
Huh?
Website. Online.
Yeah, of course. All of that.
Computer.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Wi-Fi, yeah. Mobile, mobilnik, mobile, right?
Yeah.
All of that.
The one that threw me for a loop was magazine, because magazine sounds like magazine, right? Something we read. But a magazine in Russian is a shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And gastro, oh, gee, I forget this word all the time because it doesn't make sense to me, but a
Gastronom?
gastronome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grocery store, yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, that sounds like a restaurant.
I thought you were gonna say that sounds like a gastro bypass procedure.
Well, I'll go off of this one a little bit. You know, I've been married to a native Russian speaker for 25 years now. And she follows the Russian rule that a Russian woman, basically, she's been a teacher her entire life, other than when she was in the US and she got a degree in being a medical assistant. But a Russian teacher is not allowed to teach her own children or her husband or anything like that. You have to get somebody outside. I have this awful situation with her that no matter where we go, if somebody asks me if I speak Russian, she says, no, he doesn't speak Russian. I will translate for you. She does not let me talk to anybody. So, so I've started all the time. I'll insert in the middle of conversations when she's trying to say something that's involving me, panel, or she'll translate something to me. It's like panel. So I find the thing that helped me expand my Russian language the most was being like Eddie. I'm surrounded by Russian speakers who do not speak English. And it makes you learn. So you go to the store and you struggle a little bit. Yandex Translate is a great help if you get stuck, but then the Russians start relying on it to speak to you. I went and Irina went to Sochi with Lucy to put her on the airplane Thursday, and after she left, Eddie knows this story. I got in trouble. I went and bought a TV for the living room, and I bought a much bigger TV than I was allowed to buy.
Oh, are you saying you did it while your wife was away?
I did it while my wife was away. And then I asked her permission. I said, honey, can I buy a TV for the living room? And she said, no. But I said, then I have to beg forgiveness. So Eddie told me to go buy her flowers. She refused the flowers. I'm now taking her out to Legends Restaurant.
There you go.
So that 60,000 ruble TV is going to cost me 30,000 in dinner. But in the store, I had to deal with them in Russian. So, I had certain things I wanted on the TV. They were making recommendations to me. Now, I have certain people I go to that, after a while, you start developing your own language with people. So they understand I speak in simpler terms. They start speaking in simpler terms. It's just going out and doing it. But like Eddie, I listen to, what is her name? It's Easy Russian Club on YouTube. I started with that. Some books. So, and watch Russian TV.
A couple of good resources. I will put this here in the chat. Look up on YouTube. I speak Russian. This is Nikolai Tishin. He's an excellent instructor. He's on YouTube. He's on Telegram. You can take Zoom classes with him as well. Really, really good. I think I did A1 and A2 with him. Actually, I did A2 twice with him because that's where you learn all the cases. And I still don't know all the cases.
I don't know cases for squat. I cannot conjugate verbs. If you know the roots, you can get by.
You can get by.
It's amazing how much easier English is now when I think about it. Just cases alone, just that alone is crazy, right?
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kevin, before I go, which I have to go, then I really want you to try to do it. The next time your honey tells you he doesn't speak English, just let me translate, or Russian. This is your pitch to Irina, okay? This is exactly what you say word per word. Honey, I plan to live here for the rest of my life. Do you want me feel more like at home or like a visitor? If you want me to feel like home, let me try to speak Russian, because if I don't try and I continue trying, going through this process, I'm not going to improve. So please help me feel like home. That would be my
And then I will duck quickly.
So that's it. Guys, I have to go. You don't have to finish. I have to go, but I will see you soon. And Eddie, pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you, Arkady.
Pleasure. Bye-bye.
Well, should we finish up this last few questions before we go?
I just want to address Michelle here. Thank you so much, but you don't have to send me a few bags of pinto beans, because why? Let's discuss this. Why can she not send me a few bags of pinto beans?
Well,
First
how
of
much
all,
how much would those pinto beans cost her?
A couple of kilos is going to cost you a lot. And I could probably order some from maybe US Mall or something, and it'll take about a month, maybe 2 months to get here. I haven't tried it, but yeah, the shipping would just be out freaking outrageous. And there's no way to tell how long it will take to get here. So that's a big problem. And somebody's put here, send him some icebreakers. Yeah. Icebreakers. But I actually found some here. Kevin sent me a link, but they cost like, about $100 for a package of 8. So I can get this here, but it'll cost me $100 for a package of 8.
It's that shipping.
It's the shipping that'll kill you. But thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And I have given Eddie another brand to try. They're actually British.
Yeah, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Was there a time limit on Putin's decree? This is an unknown. At the moment, it's open-ended, subject to change at any time. We have no details yet. So everyone has been jumping up and down saying, oh, September 1st, we're going to have all the details released. No, September 1st, the decree goes into effect. It does not mean the details will be known. So we'll keep you posted on that one.
And Brenda wants to know how hard it is to find a landlord who will probably register you in that 7-day period. Okay, I'll just take a stab at this real quick. If you go looking for a landlord on your own, you may never find one. It's going to be difficult. So if you're going to be apartment hunting, you need to go through an experienced realtor. They're going to sift through all of this stuff, and they're going to find the right landlord for you and for your needs. Don't waste time trying to do it by yourself, because you're just going to go in circles. You may even sign a contract, and then the landowner or the landlord says, well, I'm not going to register you. And there's nothing you can do about it. What say you?
And I've had people argue with me that, well, the law says they're obliged to register you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yes, the
Just
way the law
go-
is written, they're supposed to, but good luck.
Go through a
Um,
realtor.
Yeah. Jason, you want to come to Crimea? I know a landlord that will register you. So we have apartments, but also when you get here, don't be overly concerned about registering in the 7 days. It's likely when you get here, you're going to stay in a hotel for a little while. Just make sure you tell the hotel you want them to register you. Make sure the hotel you're staying at will register you. Most of them will. And, that's good for as long as you stay with them. And then when you leave there, you've got 7 days beyond that to do the official registration.
Correct.
And Jason and Brenda, talk to Eddie about when you get there. They're concerned that
About what?
they're concerned that 9 p.m. their flight coming in at 9 p.m. to Sheremetyevo is too late for you.
Oh, no way. I'm a night owl. Sheremetyevo Airport is 20 minutes from my flat. Now, if you were going to Domodedovo, I would say no. I would. That's on the south end of Moscow. It takes an hour plus to get there. Vnukovo Airport over on the west side takes about 45 minutes, maybe with no traffic, to an hour. Sheremetyevo is 20 minutes away. There you go.
Yep. Wow. Eddie, you and I finishing a show in an hour and 6 minutes? Never happens.
Man.
Something's wrong.
Cool. Yeah, Boule says Sheremetyevo is 10 minutes away because you live in Khimki. So, yeah, right next door.
Yep. Okay, well,
I guess that's it.
That's it, other than for last minute plugs.
Hey, guys, join us tomorrow night because we're going to do this again, but over on my channel for, I guess, 3 idiots again, because
we don't have no topic
to talk about. So,
yeah, bring your questions.
Bring your questions over. In fact, I saw some questions on some YouTube videos that I have that I guess we could answer tomorrow as well. So, yeah.
Yep.
See you tomorrow, 8 p.m.
So, if you want advice on traveling around Russia in general or around Moscow, you need a tour guide, concierge services at all, worryfreerussia.com. Eddie is the man. And,
we'll take care of you. Yeah, the red bus to my metro station. That's right, Raymond. You just fly into Sheremetyevo, you take the red bus, it stops at Hovedena Metro, my metro station, which is 10-minute walk from my flat. So, absolutely.
Yep. And let's see. People wanted
no topic needed for 3 idiots.
Yeah, well, we do seem to be able to go on and on about things.
Yeah.
So someone in the chat asked if you pronounce her name in Moscow the same way as they do in, I don't remember where they said. I lost the question. Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Yeah, Anastasia. Don't be an American. Don't say Anastasia like I am prone to do.
Or Anastasia.
Anastasia, yes. Anastasia. You have to remember with Russians, move the stress one vowel further than is natural for you on
and
just
also,
about everything.
And also in Russian, you pronounce almost every letter. I think there may be 1 or 2 exceptions, but you will pronounce every letter. So it's not like, if a Russian were to see the word the, the, they would probably try to pronounce it like tehe, because that's how
Yeah.
Russians think. Okay, so if
I
you
will
think
never,
Russian
I
that
will
way,
never forget this one. My wife, when our daughter when we were getting ready to move them to the United States, my wife and my daughter, we moved them from Dnipropetrovsk to Kiev. And when my wife went into the school, they had an English teacher, and my wife has a PhD in teaching English. And the woman kept telling her she was pronouncing toe wrong. And she said it was properly pronounced Toya.
Toye.
Toya. And Kania.
Oh, for knee. Yeah, Kania.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kania.
Like
G'day
Edelwolf
isn't
says
hard
here.
for me. Mane is a difficult one to learn.
Yeah. Minye, Gidye. Yeah. You pronounce every letter.
Okay.
All right. No more questions. We'll save them for tomorrow.
So again, visit Eddie on his website. You want advice to move to Crimea or general advice or money movement, westtorussia.com down under my name. Or westtorussia.ru. And you get the pretty picture.
Cool. All right.
Okay. So Eddie, thank you. Thank you everybody for coming and joining us. Spokane Nochi. Slodki Snov.
Dobry wieczór. Well, because it's evening here. So
It depends on how old you are. My age, it's
you're not.
Spokane Nochi.
Go to bed.
Yeah. I'm
right,
going
guys.
to go enjoy my new TV.
Do so.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking for, there we go, the closing. There we go.
Начинается Родина с окошек горящих вдали, со старой отцовской буденовки, что где-то в шкафу мы нашли. А может, она начинается со стука вагонных колес, из клятвы, которую в юности ты ей в своем сердце принес. С чего начинается